During our last ACH training, I had a student ask about, well, if a client goes into hypnosis or they're exploring the questions that you're asking through the hypnotic interview, if they look a certain way, are they looking for a memory? Are they trying to hear something? Are they trying to remember something? And this is that whole eye pattern thing that NLP is pretty famous for. And again, I'm not NLP trained because I didn't see the need for it. I still don't see the need for it now. It's the whole thing of when I ask a client a question or when they're in trance, whatever it is, if I ask them a question, where are they searching? Are they looking, like I said, for a memory? If they look over to the left, is it past memory? Is it future? Whatever it is, I'm not the best at explaining, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. And do I recommend learning how to do that in order to get better with the unconscious moments in ACH? Absolutely not. This was my answer. I don't care whether a client looks left, right, up, down, they're searching for a memory, they're trying to look for something, they're trying to hear something, they're following eye patterns. I don't care about any of that stuff. Why? Because in the long term, all I'm looking for are unconscious moments. I don't care how my client finds those unconscious moments. I don't care whether they're looking left or right, up or down, does not matter. What I'm looking for and what I'm trying to hear is what is conscious information and what is unconscious information. If a client responds to my question and they look left and they look right, they look up and they look down, I could start to assume that maybe they're looking for a certain memory at a certain age. They're trying to hear something, they're trying to smell something, trying to remember something, whatever it is. But while I'm doing that and focusing so much on the eye pattern movement, I'm missing out on what they're actually saying. And we all know, well, most of you should know, that unconscious information in a sentence of, let's say, 10 words might be only one word, and 9 words in that sentence might be what we call conscious information. And we all know we can ignore the conscious information and pay real close attention to the unconscious information. If I'm too busy looking at body language, I'm too busy trying to get a connection of rapport, I'm too busy trying to do all the other things, I'm not going to be listening to what my client tells me. So all in all, I don't care how my client finds the answer. I don't care how my client finds the information. I don't care whether they're looking for a memory or not. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I'm listening for is what is unconscious information. When you're too busy trying to do other things other than finding the difference between conscious information, unconscious information, knowing where to follow that unconscious moment, the way we teach in our ACH program, you miss the point. So again, I'm not NLP qualified. I don't see the reason for it. Everyone always says I should do NLP. I should be adding this to the curriculum, all that sort of stuff. My answer is always, why? It's not teaching me anything that I don't already know or deem worthy of using when it comes to clients. I like to keep things really, really simple. Unconscious moments and unconscious information versus conscious information tell me way more than eye pattern, tell me way more than body language, tell me way more than the visualization my client's having or the regression that they're having. That's why I don't use any of that stuff. When we say conversation hypnosis, I really mean it. Now, it's not a way to use language pattern to put people into trance. It's not a way to input suggestions into a sentence. Why? Because that's all trying to force something that doesn't really exist. We have an open dialogue with our clients. We use what questions, who questions, how questions, all that sort of stuff, real basic questions. And it's not the question that's important. It's the response I'm getting. And it's your ability as a therapist, once you've been trained how to do that, to understand, okay, out of that sentence that I'm sure you guys have all had it. You ask a client a question, they just go on and on and on and on, not like I'm doing right now, but you sort of get my point. I've got to find out of that big sentence, all that fluff they've given me, is any of it conscious or is it unconscious? What is conscious? I can ignore because that's a lie, that's a conclusion. And you all know a conclusion is like, I can't quit smoking because, or I am a smoker and I'll always be one. These are conclusions. Even when your client sits down and says, I have anxiety, that's their conclusion. We've got to find out what is the real thing. And what I'm listening for is what is unconscious information. And then my job is, once I find that in that sentence or in that big blurb of fluff, I need to focus attention on that. So what we're really doing is we're taking the attention, which is a big part of traditional hypnosis, and putting attention on certain things. And I'm putting the attention on the words my clients are saying. I'm not trying to force these moments. I'm not trying to force trance. I'm not trying to force unconscious moments. I'm not even trying to force the root cause to come out. I'm not trying to force anything, even relaxation. Why? Because there's a big difference in the level of, or the quality of information that comes out when I'm trying to, excuse me, when I'm trying to force the right information to come out of my client because I've got a technique just waiting for them. I'm now forcing the unconscious mind to do what it doesn't want to do, which is reveal information. Remember, the unconscious mind is extremely stubborn. So if you're trying to force it, of course it's going to back away. It's just going to lie to you, basically to get it off its back. We're doing almost like a Freudian slip. So the unconscious mind relaxes itself enough, or it reveals information You hear it as a therapist, and it's like the unconscious mind says, damn it, I shouldn't have said that. We've all had that sort of conversation before. That's what we're sort of going for here. The unconscious moments, the unconscious information really being the same thing, gets lost in verbal fluff, gets lost in consciousness. Okay. So we should all realize that when we're talking, we're a mixture of conscious and unconscious information. I mean, all this information I'm talking to right now is in my head somewhere, but I don't have to recall it or use it until I really need it or have to recall it. That's why I'm able to talk about this stuff. So all in all, this is a very long-winded way. Hopefully that was informative. A long-winded way to say, I don't care how my client finds the information. I don't care whether they look left or right. I'm not following eye patterns. I'm not following body language. I'm not looking for subtle shifts in the skin and all that sort of stuff. Why? Because now I'm too focused on looking for something. I'd rather hear the information. Again, that's why not only my sessions were so quick, but also our student sessions are so quick. And I can guarantee it's why they're not having to do multiple sessions. They're not having to repeat the same thing. They're not having the audios and all this sort of stuff because they're fixing the real unconscious truth or the real unconscious payoff. Okay. So guys, focus on what's important. Okay. All this other fancy stuff that people add to hypnosis, I think it's almost like an ego sort of show off, the rapport thing, the looking for eye patterns, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure it has resemblance. It looks okay on paper. When it comes to real world application, you're focusing your attention, which is going to be quite limited, on all the things that don't matter. Start listening for unconscious information, start listening for conscious information, then learn how to decipher what is what, ignore most of it, and also start to follow the tail of that unconscious moment or the unconscious information. That's all it is. Eye patterns, eye stuff, all that things, guys. Wouldn't bother with it. Big waste of time. Hopefully that was informative. Bye for now.